right? But basically here, you can see what it was doing, right? You can see that at first, what it did is research recent QQQ and NASDAQ conditions, and then it's done when the recent context for QQQ and NASDAQ regime has been gathered, or something, cut off there. And then it's creating the strategy workspace, and then it implements the Bollinger Bands logic, right? So that's what's actually grabbing from this. And then created the 7-day smoke test, and then validated the smoke result, right? And then it added on this last planning item here because the back test didn't work, but it should have kept going actually. But for some reason, status came back as completed, which is strange. Um, but yeah, it should have actually kept going until that came back with actual trades and it's actually working. And in the same way, you could ask it to do something else, and it's basically like, keep doing this until X or keep trying this until Y. And then there's like built-in things where a back test, the first back test should always have trades and should always have shouldn't crash or anything like that, right? And then when you're deploying a strategy, if it crashes or anything like that, it will automatically come back and fix it and say, okay, here, I fixed it for you. Here, do it again, right? Like, so it's smart enough to be able to correct its behavior like that, right? Does that make sense? Or would you want still something different than that?
No, I think the process that you're describing is good.
Okay.
I'm probably after just more detail about the strategy itself, like because yeah, when you're highlighting the steps, yeah, it's giving you some generic stuff, but I want to go in and know, okay, yeah, you're fixing the no trades. You're what are you changing? Like, what's it doing? Is it changing the parameters on the bands? Is it changing the stop loss? I don't know what it's doing.
Yeah, so this describes exactly here, right? So what it first did is it built a QQQ Bollinger Band strategy, created a strategy that does mean reversion logic, added chart lines, buy and sell markers, or practical risk control, 7% stop loss, 6% take profit, position sizing of 95% of cash,
Yeah, but
right?
what I mean is when's it buying? Is it buying when it hits the lower band? Is it buying when it's the middle band? I don't know that.
Well, you could ask it, right? In this
Yeah,
case,
yeah.
you could
But
ask, right?
oh no, all the information's there. It's just that's the stuff that I'd be um digging to find because that's what I'd want
Yeah,
to know. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. And you could do that. You could literally just ask, right? So tell me about the entries and exits. Well, let's see if it responds here. I don't know if the plan is going to screw it up a bit. And so there you go. Here's all the entries and exits, right? So entry, it buys QQQ when the close price touches or dips just below the lower Bollinger Band. It uses a small 1% buffer below the band, so it does not need a perfect touch. Right? This is basically what it built on its own, right?
Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So you could either ask the AI or you could look through the infographic that we have here. We're going to add back in the how your strategy works and what changed, so I have more information there. But really, I think the best way to do is just ask, right? Like, how does this work? What is it doing, right? And then you can now like very easily ask it to change, um, change the Bollinger Bands to have a to use one standard deviation instead. All right, so you can very
Yeah,
easily ask it to
perfect.
change, right? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. And what if it works correctly, what it should do here is it should make the change and then automatically run a back test as well. Let's see if it does that. There we go. So it's loading these skills up. So loaded a couple skills, strategy building, indicator guidance, chart indicator guidance. It's loading all these different skills here. And then looking at the strategy code, right? And then it should make the change and then start a new backtest.
Rob, I'm going to have to drop off for 15 minutes. I've got a work call, but I'll try and rejoin in 15.
Okay,
But yeah, this is awesome.
cool, perfect. Thank you.
Back soon. Bye.
All right, bye. Cool. What do you think about this, Mark?
Yeah, well, yeah, it, well, yeah, it's looking good. I'd like to actually see some see what it comes up with, you know? Um,
Yeah, like what kind of strategies it actually builds, right?
yeah, yeah. So what is it with the Bollinger Band? What is it does it just if the I mean what is it oh it buys on touch and then it sells it and then it goes up and then sells at the mean. Okay.
Yeah, it's what it looks like. Yeah, sell at the mean, buy on touch. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, this is just like a whatever kind of strategy. I mean, I wouldn't think that this strategy is anything special, right? It's just kind of what
Yeah,
it made on its own really quickly.
yeah. Yeah, well, I
Right.
was just wondering what, I mean, I know I mean, the Bollinger Bands are kind of weird because a lot of times the bar goes up and it like hugs the top, or the bottom, and then it
Hmm.
goes back. So I'd be curious to see what kind of results that gives.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Cool. So that's one feature. Let me show off another feature here too. So something else that we did is we gave it the ability to actually read like SEC filings and things like that. So if I were to say, tell me about the SpaceX IPO in terms of numbers, tell me about the revenue and all the other things about SpaceX. Let's see if it actually gets this because it has the ability. Yeah, there you go. So it's loading the right skill. It's searching public filings. Yeah, so here it was actually able to pull SpaceX's filings. So here's the revenue and everything is directly from their from their filings with SEC for their IPO. And then you could say something like, turn this into a chart, right? And we could actually display charts now as well. Let's see how good of a job it does with that here. It's kind of testing the limitations. There we go. Okay, so CapEx, 20 billion, bridge loan debt, 20 billion, right? So it's actually able to like generate charts like this now. You can even expand it out and you can see like the chart around everything. It's kind of a funny chart because like it's a weird thing to display on a chart. But operating loss, negative 1.9, 2025 operating loss, negative 2.5, right? So you could see everything as a chart. Or what I could do is something that would probably make more sense to do as a chart is if I said something like, tell me about um, the 10-year, show me a graph of the 10-year interest rate over the past 50 years. Right, and it can actually produce a chart like that for you. Right, it can make bar graphs, line graphs, and pie charts is what I could do. All right, so what do you think? What are your thoughts around this? Is this something that you would find useful, or there you go. There's a chart of the 10-year. I got it back, going back to 2025.
Oh yeah, this is really good.
Yeah, so it'll produce a chart. You can actually zoom in on it.
Yeah.
Right. So it makes that a lot easier to understand.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that was one of the previous drawbacks is that, what I like to do is to, have when I'm developing something, have these kind of auxiliary plots that I can look at, right? And it's nice that it can do the getting the data for, instead of having to go to Fred and mess around and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we
Yeah.
connect directly to
Yeah.
the Federal Reserve data and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So we can get anything to do with Treasury, interest rates, all that kind of stuff. We get economic indicators like GDP and all those kinds of things from a different data source. We can get SEC filings around companies, so such as SpaceX, whatever, IPO filings. You could also get filings for like hedge funds and investment firms. So, like for example, make me a pie chart of the holdings for Berkshire Hathaway. Okay, so be able to go off and get that from the SEC, and then turn that into a pie chart and display that. Let's see what this looks like here. There we go. Okay, so here are the holdings, right? So we have American Express is 17%, 45 billion. Apple is 13% or 36 billion. Then Coca-Cola at 8%. Occidental Petroleum at 6%. And then other is for all the rest of this stuff. And there's 90 holdings in total. Right? I was able to produce that kind of pie chart. And right now, these graphs are mostly for things from the SEC or things from, economic indicators and things like that. But very shortly, you'll be able to also do this with, the holdings from your broker, right? So we're working on something where you'll be able to just link your broker. And hopefully, I think this will be ready by next week. So hopefully, I'll be able to demo this to you guys next week. But you'll be able to link your broker and just say, what are my holdings? Show them as a pie chart, right? And it'll
Yeah.
get it from your
Yeah.
actual broker, show it as a pie chart, and then you could analyze your holdings and say well, what do you think about my risk profile? What should I buy? What should I sell? Go search the internet. What are some things that are actually doing well? And it could basically do all that kind of stuff for you, and then even place trades directly for you, right? So if it's during market hours, you could say, hey, you know what? Can you sell half of my holdings in Micron and buy, that same amount of money in SpaceX? It'll go off and do that for you. All right. That's the next stage that we're working on. And same thing, you'll be able to graph it all out, show basically, you could say show me a bar chart of which stocks produce the most amount of profit for me over the past year, right? It'll actually be able to produce that for you, right? So that's kind of like where we're going with this. Would you find that useful?
Yeah, I want to mention uh Interactive Brokers just came out like yesterday or the day before with a thing that hooks to Claude. You can't trade with it, but you can like analyze your whatever is in your portfolio. And
Mhm.
I used it, I messed around with it, and it's pretty good, and it could do exactly this kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and,
um,
and and this can actually hook up to Claude as well, by the way. This is
uh,
you could do it through our website, but you could just as easily do it
right,
through Claude, right? Because it's an
right,
MCP server. So I can do the same thing,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And we're actually gonna Interactive Broker is gonna take a little longer for us to support, but it's another thing that we're working towards.
yeah,
And we'll have a similar thing with Interactive Brokers. I mean, it doesn't matter what broker you use, but the difference is you'll be able to actually trade with it, right?
right, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and we're planning also to have like passive monitoring as well. So like every day it'll just like monitor your positions, and then like if something changes or if some important news comes out about anything that you're holding, we'll email you about it and say, hey, by the way, did you know that earnings came out for Micron today? And this is what happened. I don't know what Micron earning what happened. Actually, let's see what happened with Micron earnings today or yesterday, whenever they came out. I think they came out today, right? It will automatically
um,
check that for you. Like, for example, I own Micron in my portfolio. It could just check that and say, hey, the earnings just came out today. By the way, this is what happened. And I think actually that's one of the reasons why the market crashed was partly because of that, right?
I think Micron is tomorrow, isn't it?
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it's tomorrow.
Okay. So I know
Yeah,
all the chip stocks fell today. So I was assuming
yeah,
maybe that was the reason.
yeah,
Um, but it will just keep monitoring it for you. Micron's yeah, has not come out. They're scheduled to come out tomorrow. Yeah, exactly. New fell hard today, 11 to 13% even before earnings. Analysts still expect a huge quarter, so we'll see what happens tomorrow.
yeah.
But what we're going to have
But
is once you link your broker, it will automatically know that you own Micron. And when the earnings come
yeah,
out, it will automatically tell you this is what happened. And then on top of that, also give you buttons to be able to like do something about it, right? So they'll say, hey, by the
yeah,
way, you own Micron. This is what happened with the earnings, yada, yada, yada. They
yeah,
beat expectations, blah,
yeah,
blah, right? You
right,
already own this much in your portfolio. Would you like to change that? Click
yeah.
here and you could talk to our
Uh,
AI to modify that, right?
One second. I have a phone call, so I'm gonna mute myself here. So,
Okay, no problem. So why don't we take a quick break then? Because Mark, you're the only one here right now. So why don't we take a quick break and then we'll come back in a sec when you're done your phone call as well, all right?